Last week, news broke, dun dun dun, in the world of luxury fashion, that Chanel and L'Oreal have only gone ahead and bought the row. And while, yes, this is true, it's actually not as crazy as it sounds, but it is quite interesting. So I sort of wanted to break this down for you and discuss what this means for the row, what this means for luxury fashion in general. Guys, if you are new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're probably gonna love it here. So head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. Basically, there are 4 key investors that have invested in the row. Okay, I'm also going to be talking about why they would have taken this investment, the row in general, all of that business, right? But number 1, and this is the big one that everybody's been like worried about and all of that, is Moose Partners. Moose or Mouse? Moose? Moose. This is the family office of the Wertheimer brothers. Those are the brothers that own Chanel. Then you've got the Tethys Fund. So this is owned by the granddaughter of the founder of L'Oreal, Françoise Bettencourt Myers. Then you have 2 other interesting players in this, Imaginary Ventures, one of the co-founders of which is Natalie Massenet, one of the original founders of Net-a-Porter, okay, a big fashion name. And then finally, St. Dominique Capital. This is Lauren Santo Domingo's private investment fund. She is one of the co-founders of Moda Operandi. So here we go. We've got 4 very big fashion heavy hitters putting their faith into this more new luxury brand, a brand that if you're not like interested in luxury fashion, you probably have never heard of. The row has not been an overnight success. I know it sort of seems that way. We've really only started talking about them with regards to like trending pieces and popularity and things like that in the last 2 years is stretching it, okay? But this brand was founded in 2006 by Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, and they have been experiencing an insane amount of success. This deal values the brand at $1 billion. To put that into context, take a brand like Gucci, right? This is a very big, well-known brand. Anybody on the street, if you ask them about Gucci, they'd know what it was. Makes just under, I think last year they made just under 10 billion euros, right? The recent popularity of the brand is down to, I would say, 2 things in general. Number 1 would be sort of viral products, and number 2 would be celebrity, I don't want to say endorsement because endorsement makes it sound like it's like a formal like contracts are involved. Celebrities wearing them. Unofficial endorsement. You know, you're seeing celebrities, street style, all of that business, just top to toe in the row. Zoe Kravitz, Jennifer Lawrence, just names and names and names, right? Before everything shot through the roof over the last couple of years, I would say that they were probably known for just like selling really expensive t-shirts. As somebody who is not a The Row customer and fan, I knew them because it was like, okay, yes, great quality, really great tailoring, all of that stuff, and their t-shirts were like $350 a pop. Now you have the success of their leather goods has helped massively. You've got the Row Margot bag. We haven't stopped. That word hasn't left my mouth, okay, over the last 12 months. I'm sick of it, you're probably sick of it. The Half Moon bag, also we're selling out. Their little 90s pouch is also a fan favourite. People love it. Waiting for new colours to drop, all of that. The virality of the Row jelly shoes, which sadly, I believe that they actually pulled production on those. They stopped producing those because essentially they broke. And if there is one thing that the Row are very well known for, it's the quality. So kind of good for them for stopping something if they can't stand by it quality-wise. But it's interesting and something to sort of keep it in the back of their head for like, okay, where do things go now? Last season, once again, the Row was all in our mouths because they had a policy at their show, which was a no cameras policy. So yes, whilst we are so used to our favourite fashion influencers sitting front row, or our favourite fashion journalists capturing content as the models go down, that wasn't a possibility at the Row show. And it was just, you're just going to get the official photos that the Row has approved of the looks to look at after, but in the meantime, stay in the moment and look at the clothes. That sort of encapsulates everything that the Row is about. They are doing the opposite of pretty much every other luxury brand, in that they aren't bothered about the marketing. Look at their Instagram. There's hardly anything on there about the product. It's about like art and things. I don't know. Like it's kind of strange, right? In today's day and age where we're so used to seeing everything all of the time. I want to see the new drop. There's brands dropping things left, right and centre, and I can see it. I know it's happening. The Row does not function in such a way. So you have this mystery and the allure that surrounds the brand, and that is what makes it different. That's what makes it successful. And that is something that they're going to have to keep on top of massively. Also, essentially, this is a celebrity brand, right? How is this any different from like a Victoria Beckham? From the get-go, Mary-Kate and Ashley have been very much not wanting to be a face of it, very much wanting to keep things separate from them and their previous lives as, you know, child actresses. And the brand has never needed them to propel it, to have their names behind it, to drum up some hype or whatever. They've managed to really crack a code with it, and their whole sort of process has really been a little bit of like, what is it? Is it the rabbit and the tortoise? The hare and the tortoise? Something like that. Slow and steady wins the race. Like I said, they've been at this for almost 20 years, and only now are we really... Once again, those of us that aren't like in it with the Row, only now is it becoming a wider conversation within luxury fashion. Aside from them sort of being an interesting little sort of mythical creature in luxury fashion, I think something else that also appeals to people wanting to invest in them, especially when there's like a load of really bad fashion investments that we've seen recently, matches dead in the water, you know, there was the whole Farfetch thing, left, right and centre, smaller brands having to close down because it's just not working out, right? What makes them different? The thing about the Row is that the cult of the Row is very strong, and those people that are buying the Row consistently, that's like outside of just like the one Margot bag purchase, they're not going to be particularly affected by the changes in the economy that we're dealing with now. They are not necessarily the like aspirational shopper. They're going to buy a $300 t-shirt, whether it's now or whether, you know, there's inflation sort of thing. So I think that also makes them a little bit immune to what other fashion businesses have been dealing with. So why do they even want the investment? Why do they want the money? They probably want to do a level of expansion. They're never gonna like come out here with a statement and be like, this is what we plan on doing with the money, you know? We're just gonna find out from now on, basically. The Row currently has 4 stores, 3 of which are in the US. One of which, I mean, it's a US luxury brand, right? And 1 is in London. I think that they've also just announced that there's going to be 1 opening in Paris. I'm sure that with this money, they're going to be investing in more stores all over the world, and generally a bit more of a global expansion. I don't believe they've done much of a dip into Asia. I'm sure that they want to do that, whether that's via concessions in department stores or their own standalone stores or whatever it is. All of this costs a hell of a lot of money. Now, crucially, and this is what like I think gets made very dramatic when it's like Chanel is buying the brand and, you know, like L'Oreal is buying the brand. All of those 4 investors that I spoke about at the beginning have a minority stake. All of them combined amount to less than 40% apparently. The Olsons, for as long as they want to be involved in the row, are going to have the controlling amount. I don't see them ever giving up control unless they are fully out of it, like they've sold it, they're done, thank you very much, goodbye, sort of thing. It's really just about having an influx of money. It's not that any of these investors will have much of a say in what they do. It's not like we're, you know, if you're a The Row fan or whatever, you're going to be worried that it's going to go the way of Chanel or whatever, right? They also might be planning to expand product lines. What does that look like? I don't know. Maybe there's home and beauty. When you go to their stores, there is always an element of like home and interior, and like I said, their Instagram is mainly about art. Maybe it's more of like they're going to be able to expand into that. Maybe it is a little bit more into beauty. Didn't they do Elizabeth and James, that perfume line? I don't know, maybe there's a The Row scent story in the future. I don't know, but that would make sense to me. Especially because their stores are such a... People want to go and see them. People want to go and experience the store, whether they're buying or not, because it's interesting and different or whatever. You know, depending on what your definition of interesting is. You know, listen, I'm not a The Row customer, okay? I'm not a minimalist, but I can still sit here and tell you that it is widely successful and people like it, and I see why people like it. Yeah, their stores don't necessarily do it for me, but then again, I don't have an interior design eye, so I really can't open my mouth about that. However, you can sort of see how like home scent and you know, some sort of interesting looking diffuser that's been sourced from the mountains of and you know, it's infused with the smoke of this one particular wood that only grows in one place, and you know, like, you can just see it. I can see it happening. So I'm sure that that's probably going to be something that we're going to be seeing too. They don't do much menswear. Are they going to expand more into menswear? Maybe. Like I said, they are very much playing the turtle in this race. And what's interesting about them as they expand will be, how do you expand a brand like this whose whole basis is on not doing too much, not giving too much, the mystery, the allure, the quiet luxury of it all? How do you maintain that on a mass scale while giving enough access but not too much? For example, part of the success of like the Row Margot bag and things like that is that there's a level of limited availability. They sell out, you don't know when it's going to get restocked, X, Y, Z. It's going to be interesting to see how they manage to maintain that, opening the doors just a little bit, but not too much that it becomes kind of oversaturated and then it loses everything that the brand is about. It's all about the minimalism, it's all about the if you know, you know. And the problem is that if everybody knows, is it even worth knowing? You know? And that's going to be interesting to see play out. So let's see what happens. Let's see if in a couple of years' time, we're still talking about them like we are now, and they're still being able to maintain or supersede their valuation. The other thing as well is that they've kind of done this at the right time, because whilst quiet luxury is still very much a talked about topic, people are indulging in it, whatever it might be, now is the time to do something like this, because, and I think I'm going to do a video on this, I do see the tides are turning. And for a brand that is so anti-logo, it's either move now for things like this or it's going to be too late. So I think they've timed it well. Anyway, there you go. What do you think? I'm going to leave a link to another video over here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are. And in the words of my father,
if you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.